This is Anthony Trill once again. I see. I really don't know what it is about man when it comes to war, how it's progressed, how it's evolved or devolved, however you look at it, whether it's evolution or devolution, or whether evolved or devolved, de-evolution, from something that was probably got as complex as picking up a stick or picking up items like stones or something like that, other than what you had naturally with your anatomy to exact an attack and assault to carry out some kind of war or something, right? It went to arrows, it went to guns, now we're at nuclear. And who knows what else they've got besides that. Kim Jong-un's over there, he has a Hiroshima, he's got a, what do you call those things? Tsunami. He's got a tsunami war machine that can create a tsunami. You know, it's gotten to be so ridiculous. You have monkeys out there trying to play God or playing God. That's how they go to war. You know, all up in the air and shit. Look, it's gonna get messy if somebody goes nuclear, right? Somebody goes nuclear as a response to something that says, well, we have nukes and you don't, but somebody else has nukes. And there's somebody else always coming along with a nuke, you know? So, I don't know. I don't know why the men just won't get on the field and use whatever it is that's on that field, I guess, you know? Stay on the field with it. Don't even really fucking use airplanes or an aerial advantage. And just do that until you get exhausted and say, look, fuck it, you won. We'll take a loss or whatever. Or you just do that until it rides out. Of course, you say it's silly, especially with all the means that you have. But how silly is it? Really, how silly is it? So you get a bunch of, we're talking about another video, Crucial Pacts, the first installment, just a moment ago. That if you get all these men in the field, somebody might just want to go out there and say, there's more of you out there than there's us, so let's boom, blow everybody up with some kind of nuke or something like that. I guess you're thinking that, you know, if they're the Pentagon, everyone, they're thinking about, but all these major players, they're already thinking ahead of the game when it comes to shit like that. Me, I'm just trying to get an understanding of how war works right now. And I've been for quite some time now, since I've been hearing about all this shit going on. World War III, technically, is what we have going on. So, of course, I have an interest in, I'm trying to understand how it works and operates and everything. But I just don't understand why you just can't get your asses on a field, you know, and like here's a proving ground. Let's say Ukraine, you know, they probably don't want their country all torn up and shit like that, but neither did Vietnam and neither did anyone else, you know what I mean? But you got to find a neutral spot. They sure the fuck aren't going to do it in America. They're just not going to let that happen. They will go nuclear before they let that shit happen in America, perhaps. Especially it's all over America, indiscriminately over America, rather than some fucking designated space in America. I don't understand it, you know, because Putin's going on about what he's got, North Korea's talking about what they've got, and of course the United States of America is talking about for the longest. They have trillions of dollars of homeland defense, and we want to see who's got this and who's got that and who's got the biggest and the baddest and so on and so forth. Why don't we just go back to basics? It's kind of like sex in a lot of ways, right? You can keep pushing the envelope and pushing the envelope, or whatever it is your idea for sex substitute is, porn, or whatever the case happens to be, till you get to the point where you're like, this is ridiculous, you know? You just got to go down to basics, you know? Just strip it down a little bit and go down to something more just, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for right now? Pristine in its origins, or basic in its origins. Next thing you know, you're just way the fuck over the top and just flipping the fuck out. Nuclear's way over the top. It's too ridiculous. You know, everyone should just put their nukes on hold, chill that shit out, and try to get on the battlefield and fight that shit out, and like it was in the olden days, and say, well, that's one victory. So chalk it up to how many times you got to go till you decide it, and then fairly decide it, and be magnanimous about it, you know, and noble about it, and say, okay, well, you won, we lost, so this is what the agreement was, and leave it at that. Because you can always say, well, fuck it, I'm not going to tap out because I have a nuke, or I'm not going to tap out because I have a tsunami machine. I'm not going to tap out because I got that. Just have some humility about you, you know what I'm saying? Of course, that's asking too much for some people. But I guess the main thing is try to leave the women and children out of it as much as possible. Because you bomb up their women and children, now they want to bomb up your women and children. If they get you on some kind of a situation where they nuke you when the agreement was to keep the nukes out, or they do something that was unagreed to the terms that was set, or what were you going to do between the men, then they will say, well, now we want to retaliate in a way because that was dirty as hell. Now we want to retaliate in a way that you may not like, which may compromise your women and children. So you see how you can use women and children as collateral? Because no one wants their women and children harmed or hurt, but they're willing to harm somebody else's in the name of their own. In war, as you could see in Hiroshima, Nagasaki, it was panic mode. It was either you or them, you know. Or you can look down throughout history, you know, Native Americans and so on and so forth against the settlers, you know. But of course, we're in different times now. You know, we're more civilized. We're more, you know, noble and magnanimous and all that shit. So everyone wants to reconsider what they do and how they do it. Matter of fact, there were talks. They were saying after Hiroshima that they would never let this happen again because it was just such an atrocity that it should never happen again. So I don't know why anyone is even still manufacturing nukes or wanting to manufacture nukes or talking about nuclear. What do you think? Hey, that's Anthony Terrell. I'm weighing in.